Hello, folks. I am back, and I know I haven't done a video in quite some time. I've just been really busy. I do a little bit of range footage, try to get those in, and I've been mainly doing some postings. I've been posting some shots that I've been doing with various firearms, and I like some of your comments. Your comments are some are very funny and hilarious about my shooting abilities, but I just remember I keep it 100. You see the good, the bad, and the ugly with me. So this video is going to be the state of the Sig Sauer MPX Copperhead. Now this is a bit of a little bit of a, I wouldn't say controversial firearm, but it's one of those firearms that you say to yourself, why? Uh, just so you know, in this firearm is clear. I'm not going to be able to show you that it's clear, but you're going to have to trust me on it. I'm on limited space where I'm trying to film this at. So the Copperhead was introduced somewhere around 2019, and it was basically a very compact version of the original MPX. There are different variants and sizes of the MPX. Some of them have been discontinued. One of the ones I have is the 8-inch MPX, which is not made anymore. And then there is another version that is a competition version. You might have seen Terran Tactical use a version of that version of the MPX. It's a longer competition oriented pistol caliber carbine. And then there are other versions. This particular version is what you call a civilian version. I guess they were trying to make a compact version for PDW, for a personal defense weapon for the military. And it doesn't look like this. This is just a civilian version. I don't know what the original real version looked like, but they were trying to make a version that would be for their security for their generals and so forth. So they had a version. They lost that contract out to B&T. B&T had won that contract, so they came out with this version. Just so you know, again, I'm going to say this firearm is cleared. And one of the things about the MPX Copperhead, I really like this. A lot of people think it's an ugly duckling because if you look at this barrel, it looks like a chess piece rook crown here. It is I believe it's a 3.5-inch barrel. Now, I had this in a couple different configurations. I used this firearm suppressed and it works very well suppressed. I had to get a 4.5-inch barrel for this to be able to use a suppressor because you cannot use a suppressor with this type of device here. They didn't want you to suppress it at that shorter length for liability and safety concerns. So you would have to order the 4.5-inch barrel. There's a couple places you can get that aftermarket. I believe Tim from Military Arms Channel has a place that announced a place that do sell different conversion barrels, and of course Sig has their conversion barrels as well. One of the things that is a little controversial is its compact size. Some people are wondering why the size is the way it is. And I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to use it, make it for personal protection. Right now, I have I believe this is the 30-round magazine. It normally comes with, I believe, the 20-round magazine. And some people would debate there are several handguns on the market that are 17, 19, and 20 rounds. Why would you want to have this particular firearm? Another thing about this, one people complain about is the grip right here. A lot of people don't like the way this grip is. This grip is also on the Rattler, the MCX Rattler. Another bone of contention is this brace here. This is the type of brace that it's telescoping. I'm holding a camera right now, so I can't pull that fully out for you, but it's a telescoping brace. And what you do is you move this backwards and forwards. And a lot of people have issue with the swiveling brace right here. That's what a lot of people complain about. All in all, when shooting this firearm, it is a very good firearm. It is very accurate for its size, for all the complaints that people have had about this. It's extremely, extremely accurate. for its size with a 3-inch barrel. I don't know what kind of magic that they do, but you can really get some really tight groups from anywhere from 10 to 25 yards with this. I've only max shot this at 25 yards. Another bone of contention with people is the length of the top rail. Is there, you're not going to really get much on this top rail. This is the where you can use a QD mount. This is you have to. I believe it came with the box, but you might have to buy some of these separate. There is a QD mount placement. Let me see if I can maneuver my hand right here where my thumb is. And like I said, there's not enough rail space with this. When you get this firearm, it comes totally naked. And when it comes totally naked, there's no optic or anything else. The only thing you're going to get is that top rail. And one thing about the top rail gives you limited space to work with. So what you're looking at here is you see my my Romeo 5 on top, and right now that's what you see in the front here is my Olight. It's my Olight Mini rechargeable. I put this on because it matched the color, and it's probably the smallest thing I have that would really work with this with its original barrel. Mind you, you can't get longer barrels, and this is how much space I have left. You don't have much room. If you wanted to put some backup sights on here, you would probably have to take this Olight off and then put the backup sight on. But because there is no sides to put anything on as far as any place to put a rail or anything like that, you wouldn't be able to do so because this is all one monolithic piece right here. What you would probably have to do is get an attachment. If you want to use a bigger light like a Surefire, you might have to use that attachment that will hang over on the side to use a light. Now, it seems like I'm talking about a lot of negatives on this firearm. I'm going to mention one more. It's the weight. The weight of this firearm is, it's going to be somewhere around 4.5 pounds. Now, 4.5 pounds. Now, the thing about that is, it feels heavy. There are some alloy parts on here. I believe the fore end is a alloy, but one thing is it feels weightier than most of the other PCCs that are on the market for its compact size. One of the things that I noticed, I decided to test this a couple of days ago, and what I did was I put it in a backpack. And it was a little bit irritating because when you have a backpack on, this firearm is flopping around in the back. So as you're walking, it'll have that thump on your back as you're walking. So you get that thump, 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 and you'll feel it. And on this charging handle here, you can feel that piercing your back as you're walking with it. Now, mind you, I just had a regular backpack. It was not a tactical bag. Now, the tactical bags are a little bit more forgiving because they put added padding in there because they know that you're going to use that extra padding, use that firearm, and they want you to be able to use that firearm perfectly, and you're not going to have that bouncing around. It's going to basically try to secure the firearm so it won't move around as much. But if you're using a regular backpack, which that's what I prefer to use because I don't want to look tactical. I just want to be inconspicuous. So I would just have a regular backpack or maybe some other type of gym bag. And as you're walking, the thumping around with that, and especially feeling this is the first thing I felt was the charging handle. Now, there is a black version of this. The black version is called the K model. It's really a K model. It looks like the K model. It has a trigger from Timney, and it has this sliding brace. Now the K models, what the difference is between that is they changed the grip because a lot of people don't like the grip, and then they have the folding brace. So that's what the K models are. That's the difference between the K model and then the black. Now the black is now the Copperhead black does not look like this. This whole thing here. It looks exactly like the K model, but the only difference is the telescoping brace and the Timney trigger that they put in, and you'll see that it'll still retain this type of grip. So what people are thinking is this firearm worth it? Is it a gimmick or is this just a plaything? I decided to, like I said, test it and did the walking. So I took it around the house, cut all the lights off in my house, started using this, and tried to use this as a tactical way to walk through the home. For its size, it's very maneuverable. It's a very good firearm to go around corners and so forth. But on the other hand, you want to say to yourself, is this a really practical firearm? I'm going to be biased. I'm going to say yes, it is. I like the firearm the way it is, but there are some limitations. So what I think Sig needs to do is probably to alleviate the issues with weight is probably have something like what they did with the TXG grip. Have something where the TXG grip or the material be inside maybe the lower portion of this. Somehow make it like that so it can still have its rigidity and strength, but at the same time be a little bit lighter and strong enough so you won't have these really hard or heaviness that it has. I don't know how they're going to do it because the TXG grips are made to be heavy, but maybe a thinner version or something like that. So hopefully they can make something like that. If you look at the CZ Scorpion, their version of the lower is polymer, but it's it's strengthened, but it's not too heavy. So I would like something like this material into this particular firearm, and I would like them to probably just to lessen up the weight some. Also, to have something where you can mount some lights on the side, maybe lasers or whatever the case may be, so you'll be able to have this hold more accessories on here. But I know it's a tall order to try to do that to make this firearm a little lighter, a little bit more comfortable. So that's why a lot of people are buying a lot of the K models right now because it has the upgraded, even though this is a single stage trigger. It's a good trigger for what it is, but a lot of people like that flat single stage Timney trigger. So maybe they just need to get rid of this type of trigger, stick with the Timneys, and this would be something that would be worthwhile. The last negative I could think of on this, and I'm really trying to think of ways to improve this firearm for the masses. Like I said, I'm partial. I love this firearm, but I want something where people can say, "Oh, I like this new version that's out." But one of the biggest problems with this is it's very, very pricey for what it is. Um, you can probably get a CZ Scorpion cheaper than this, but and they are pretty expensive. So that's basically it. What I have to say about the Copperhead, great firearm, but you're going to have to decide on the practicality of this firearm yourself. So with that said, stay safe, happy shooting, hashtag 2A.